Hello everyone. In this video I am going to discuss AWS Technical Essentials. I will be starting from very basic concepts and deep diving into its functionality, features and all stuff related to the AWS. Okay, what is AWS? AWS is an Amazon Web Service, right? Before AWS, companies and organizations were responsible for all infrastructure setup. They used to host their application in their own data centers, and this was very costly and led to workload overhead. However, with AWS, you don't need to focus on infrastructure. AWS itself takes care of that, and you can concentrate on getting the most from your application. That means AWS helps in reducing your workload and allows you to focus specifically on your application. So AWS provides an on-demand cloud computing platform and APIs, and it offers a wide range of services like computing power, storage solution, networking, database, machine learning, analytics, security and more. AWS Global Infrastructure. This image shows the infrastructure of AWS. With this infrastructure, you need to understand two important concepts: availability zones and regions. AWS has many big buildings called regions all around the world, and inside each region there are separate areas called availability zones. Your application can run in one of these availability zones. That means your all important data can be resided in one of these availability zones, and the same copy of that application or data goes in other availability zones. And if something goes wrong in one availability zone, another AZ can still keep running your stuff. For example, let's say you have important data stored in one availability zone. If that zone has a problem like a server breaking or a natural disaster, your data could be lost. But if you keep copies of your data in other availability zones and even in different regions, it will be more secure. Your application will not be interrupted because the data is already backed up in another AG. So this is what AWS has offered, and this is the infrastructure of AWS. Moving on, how can you interact with AWS? That means how can you connect your application with AWS, send request and so on. First method is through the AWS Management Console, that is through the UI AWS has provided. You just need to navigate to the proper page and click on a button, something like that. Another is through AWS CLI. For example, you can configure AWS through terminal, like first download AWS CLI and type command like AWS configure. Another is through AWS SDKs. For example, in Python programming language, you can use Boto3 library to interact with AWS and perform certain operations. Now let's discuss the root user and IAM. This is also the important agenda that you should know. Okay, what is a root user? When you sign in to the AWS account for the first time, that is a root user. Root user has complete access to all AWS services and resources. As the root user has all the access, it is good to not use the root account to perform any actions. Instead, you can create IAM users with appropriate permission. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. With IAM, you can create individual users, groups of users and roles with specific permissions to access AWS resources. So this is all about root user and IAM user. By using IAM, you can control who can access your AWS resources and what actions they can perform. Next, AWS Compute Services. We have instances, containers and serverless. First one is Amazon EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2 is a web service that provides a secure, resizable compute capacity in the cloud. Compute capacity means you can use a virtual computer to run your program, process data and host your websites. And You only need to pay for the resources that you use. Isn't it nice? And this EC2 provides a flexible, scalable and cost-effective solution for running virtual servers in the cloud. Next one is Amazon Elastic Beanstalk. It is another compute service that you can use. It simplifies the deployment, management and scaling of web applications and services. With Elastic Beanstalk, developers can focus on writing code and building applications without worrying about the underlying infrastructure. So you can choose Amazon EC2 if you need full control over the infrastructure and if you want to customize every aspect of your environment. In the other case, you can use Amazon Elastic Beanstalk if you prefer a managed platform that automates your application deployment and management and allows you to focus more on development tasks. In that case, you can use this Beanstalk service. Next is a container service. Container means like a bucket that contains everything needed to run software, including the code, runtime, system tools, libraries and settings. That means everything will be packed into one container. Regarding these tools, we have first Amazon ECS, Elastic Container Service. It is a container orchestration service that provides us scalable, reliable and cost-effective platform for running containerized application in the cloud. That is, it is an AWS service that allows you to containerize your application. Next is Amazon EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. It is another container service to deploy, manage and scale containerized applications using Kubernetes, which is an open source container orchestration platform. So you can have these options for container services. Next one is serverless. That means without any server. You don't need to take responsibility of the server. AWS will take care of that. You just need to focus on your development and your other responsibility. Regarding this, we have AWS Lambda. With Lambda, you can run code without provisioning or managing servers. It provides a flexible, scalable and cost-effective platform for running code in response to events. That means you just upload your code to Lambda, trigger some event and it will run based on that event you have defined. No need to worry about the server management. Next one is AWS Fragate. It is another serverless service and it allows users to run containers without managing the underlying infrastructure. And it enables developers to focus on building and deploying applications rather than managing servers or clusters. These all are the AWS Compute Services. Moving on, AWS Networking. It facilitates network connectivity, security and communication within the AWS cloud environment and between the cloud and external networks. Definitely, you need a network connection to work with the AWS service, right? Regarding this, we have Amazon VPC, that is Virtual Private Cloud. It allows users to create isolated virtual networks within the AWS cloud. In VPC, users can define their own IP address range, subnets, route tables, and network gateways, and it provides complete control over the virtual network environment. VPC enables users to launch AWS resources such as EC2 instances, RDS databases, and Lambda functions within a secure and isolated network environment. That means, in summary, AWS networking establishes a communication channel between different components of your application. You can define your network architecture and connectivity requirements to make connections to the users or other external systems. Moving on, AWS Storage. To store data file, you need a storage service, right? Amazon provides a storage service for you. We have file storage, example Amazon EFS, Elastic File System. It organizes data into files and folders. Next one is block storage, example Amazon EBS, Elastic Block Store. It manages data as individual blocks and can be accessed and modified independently. Next we have object storage, example Amazon S3, simple storage service. It stores data as objects and is well suited for storing unstructured data such as images, videos, documents and backups. So these all are the storage services AWS has offered. Moving on, database on AWS. We have Amazon RDS, Relational Database Service, Amazon Aurora and Amazon DynamoDB. Amazon RDS is a fully managed relational database service supporting multiple database engines for traditional relational databases, and it supports several popular database engines like MySQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server and so on. Amazon Aurora is also a fully managed relational database engine compatible with MySQL and PostgreSQL, offering high performance and scalability. So it is also another database service. Next, Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed NoSQL database service optimized for low latency, high throughput storage for semi-structured and unstructured data. As it is a NoSQL database, it doesn't require a fixed schema. So based on your project requirement, you can choose one of these databases AWS has provided. Moving on to the next agenda, that is monitoring, load balancing and scaling. Monitoring means, if you have some valuable things in your house, you might keep a security camera to see if everything is okay, right? In the same way, AWS can be monitored to make sure it is running smoothly. In AWS, you can use AWS CloudWatch to monitor things like server performance, storage usage and network traffic. And if anything goes wrong, you can catch it early before it causes a bigger problem. Another is load balancing. Let me give you a real world example. Suppose you are running a restaurant and you have appointed only one waiter, and say you have 50 customers coming at a time. Definitely one waiter can't take orders in time, right? So there should be more waiters to balance the workload. In the same way, AWS workloads should also be balanced. There should not be more traffic at a time, or the work should be evenly distributed across multiple servers. And for this load balancing, you can use AWS Elastic Load Balancing ELB. Next is scaling. Like again, suppose your restaurant get popular day by day, more customers coming up. Definitely you should hire more waiters or workers, right? Scaling is also the same. If there are more requests coming up, servers or resources should be added. So scaling means to automatically adjust the number of maybe EC2 instances or other resources in response to changes in demand or resource utilization. So these all are the important terms in AWS that you should know. And with this we come to the end of the slide. These all cover the technical essentials of the AWS. I hope this video is helpful to you. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section. So see you guys, keep learning.